Thank you. It's an absolute honor and delight to be with you. It's a very engaging audience, and it was a great hearing from my earlier two panelists. So, quickly coming to the topic on how CSR is changing the current scenario post COVID, I will just take a step back and share what we have been doing in the Dell Technologies, what the whole focus has been around. At Dell, we believe that technology is the overarching of any of our CSR activities. So whatever we do, be it in the skilling or the education or health, that is our three verticals, we always layer it with the product donations, which is the technology part of it. And besides that, in India, we have 25,000 plus employees, pretty much pan India, with a huge population and existence in Bangalore, which is our head office. So whatever we do at Dell, any of these social activities, we layer it with our employee time and expertise. When I say their time and expertise, it also gets converted into funds and dollars. So each time when our employees they volunteer for any organization, the company gives for every 10 hours $150 every quarter per employee. So which means is that employees are also empowered to fund the organizations that they support. Besides that, over past several years, we have been giving a huge amount of cash grants. One is, of course, because of the CSR mandate, but much before that, it's been almost most of our projects, most of our partnership is more than a decade old. And our flagship project is the Dell Youth Learning Programs, which is more than it started in December 2007, and we are still continuing with it. So this is basically at a very high level what we do at Dell from a CSR perspective. And then I want to share as how we have changed, how the whole landscape has changed post COVID. What is also very important for us globally is scale. So whatever we do, it's not that, when we say that scale, it doesn't mean we go into the depth of the programs, but we also try to make an impact in large numbers, because it's through also through technology. So last 3 years, we have been impacting roughly between 3.5 to 4 million students and teachers. So our focus has always been primarily into education, but last couple of years we have pivoted to skilling and reskilling. And then we also have a lot of projects on environment and health. Now, when we talk about education and skilling, it was just not very long ago. But in February, when we had panned out the strategy, we had the funds allocated to around 7 to 8 of our strategic partners. When I say strategic, which means these partners are pretty much pan India presence and large projects that we do with along with the government. And it so happened they also the funding was decided, the MOU was done, we had the numbers and everything in place, the programs, the MOUs and the talks with the government. And this is when March happened, and end of March we knew how the situation was just getting bad and bad, and we were all locked in our house. So therefore that was the time when we had to step up, and it was all, I won't say we took much time, just in 24 to 48 hours over the weekends and all we worked, and we had to step up, because also Dell Technologies being a huge corporate working very closely with NASCOM and Niti Aayog, there was also an expectation from the government. And when I say government, this comes from the PMO office, as what are the corporates doing, because there was a panic as well during that time. So that's when we had, now the funds were the same, so I can share it's roughly between 4.55 million USD. So the funds was not going to increase, it was the same, and our commitments were also made to the NGO partners that this is how we are going to go ahead with the rest of the year. But within, as I shared, within 40 to 24 hours, we discussed that this is the time that we have to do our best for the pandemic. And roughly around 2.2 million is what, from the overall budget, we decided that this would be towards COVID, and the rest of the projects we will continue. What I'm so very impressed, and I was so very touched by the approach of our NGO partners when we had to go ahead back to them and say that, okay, fine, these are projects, though we have committed, we need to slim it, and we need to ensure that some of the frills that we had decided, maybe for capacity building or for travel, and maybe additional staff. So as much as possible, we try to not completely go away with with those commitments, but surely they shrunk. But our NGOs, they took it very sportingly, and we had to reduce some bit of funding to a lot of our projects. Now those were the projects that were also, we last year, I will also share that we launched our CSR report, and it was termed as Progress Made Real. This was launched by our company chairman and CEO, Mr. Michael Dell, and we announced to the world the moonshot goal of impacting 1 billion lives by 2030, which means our commitment is made that it's a moonshot goal, but at the same time, it's a stretch goal. So the whole idea of stretch goal is that we want to stretch ourselves. Now that the commitment has been made, that by 2030 we will impact 1 billion lives, and there is no going back from it. So in some ways, we have already started working backwards as how we are going to reach that. And it's not something that's only in 2030 we'll wake up and we'll see how we have accomplished. Now we have year on year goal as how we are impacting these lives meaningfully. So therefore we had that pressure also, in terms of that, okay, fine, we have X number of beneficiaries that we must also touch on. So therefore we worked with our NGO partners, and what I am so happy to share is that in terms of the impact numbers, it was not hugely impacted. Of course, I won't say that it has not been impacted. And also with the current situation, the lockdown and the government schools and everything closed, a lot of our projects that we are working, it's all gone on the online mode, virtual learning. We continue to partner with Niti Aayog. You will see a lot of press coverage and a lot of things around the media on it. So we launched this program called Tinkering from Home. The whole idea of tinkering from home is that we want to foster the culture of science and innovation amongst the young minds. And now when we talk about online and virtual, I know it sounds all sounds good, but the immediate question comes to everybody's mind is that these children are from underserved communities, and they do not have access to tablets or to computers, even internet. There are a whole lot of challenges to it. So we try to address that also. As I shared, that any of our ideal projects, we give cash grants, we layer it with our employee time, and we give our products. So in a lot of ways, since we were able to cut down on a lot of rentals and a lot of travel expenses and then capacity building, so we try to adjust our funds by giving a lot of computers and tablets, and also tying up with a lot of government schemes where they were also giving funds for it. So we were more or less, we were able to manage it, and it's the struggle is still there, and we are just we are going project by project as how we are able to, because in terms of achieving the numbers, it's not something that is a must do, but it's something that we definitely want to. So these are some of the changes that we made. Now coming to the COVID related, because there was an expectation and there was the need very much where we had to support. So again, our strategy was twofold. A was that our immediate support was towards providing the frontline workers. And of course, a lot of other corporates, a lot of individuals, government, they stepped up and they have provided. But, in a country, the need is unlimited. It's really mammoth. So this is when Dell gave around 80,000 PPEs to the frontline workers. When we say the frontline workers, these are the healthcare workers, the police, masks, sanitizers. As much as possible, we tied up with the government so that it reaches the right hand. And at the same time, we were trying to focus a lot on the states which are not in high priority. When I say those states would be, states like the Northeast or Odisha, Bihar, Bengal, Jharkhand. And at the same time, we did a lot in Karnataka, in Mumbai, in Maharashtra. We worked in Telangana, Hyderabad. So it was pretty much pan India where we gave these PPE kits, masks, sanitizers. Then, of course, the migrant workers. So Dell is very proud to share that we donated more than 1 lakh migrant workers that we fed. We also have a foundation, Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. Through MSDF, we have contributed another 40 million USD, and this is spread over again pan India. And what we are also focusing on is lot of the livelihoods that has been lost. So again, this is a slightly pivot to our strategy in terms of what we have been doing. And this was the first time globally that we undertook such projects. Again, the whole idea being that this was the need of the hour. So a lot of small and medium enterprises we are supporting, and we are trying to see how we can give them the seed funding. We are helping them with mentoring, we're helping them with technology, so that they are able to come back and start their livelihood. So these are the few things that we have done. We are working very closely with the government, and in terms of all the the war rooms that has been set up to support COVID, we have donated thousands of our laptops and computers and helped them to set up those. We have also working very closely with the central health department, and help them to launch the COVID related education website. So as I'm sharing is that there's a lot of things that we have done around technology. The second thing that I had shared earlier is our employee time and expertise. So our employees has been always been taking a lot of pride in volunteering for the projects. We really say that giving back is in the DNA of the company. More than 75% of our employees they volunteer, and when I say 75% of a 25-26,000 company size, is a huge number. So it's not only the time that they are giving, but as I shared, every 10 hours that they volunteer, each employee can also give 150 USD to any NGO of their choice. Of course, they need to be vetted and they need to be empaneled with us. So a lot of more than 1,400 organizations have benefited from this. And there are a lot of mentoring work that they are doing, a lot of online mentoring that's being done. The positive thing that we have seen is in this pandemic is that now geography is no barrier. So we are having volunteers from different part of the countries, from different parts of the globe. We are having our Dell volunteers who might be from the US office, but they want to volunteer for a project. Maybe it's in a remote location in Raichur. So these are the different ways that we have tried to be innovating, because we really value the time of our employees, and volunteering is very, very key to us. So we have tried to take advantage and try to do the best that we can do under the current circumstance. And these were some of the high level changes that we have done. Of course, the numbers are large in terms of the student benefit that we have impacted, the beneficiary numbers in terms of the trainers, the teachers, the online certification courses that we are doing for AI, the cloud computing, for 3D printing. So there are a lot of these future workforce the courses that we are working very closely with the Ministry of Skill Development, with Atal Innovation Mission. And of course, these numbers are still, we still need to figure it out in terms of exact as how many has been benefited, because we're still halfway of our grant cycle. So these are some of the high level things that we had to pivot post COVID. And of course, in terms of the employee safety, that's the foremost. So almost 90% plus of our employees are working from home, and now this has changed the way we are going to work in future. It's been clearly told that you don't have to come to the office rest of the year. And what the company is doing now is that we will get the opportunity to just work from home, have an app, book a workstation whenever we want to, just like most of the IT companies. Dell has also stepped up. So this is from my end.